Hi there, back again with my last to second last edition of my sorting through all of my knitting needles, crochet hooks, and today all my notions. So there's just some random stuff left in here. So I'm going to get all of that out. And then we shall get the last of this figured out. And then I'll do one more video probably later where I show you how I've got everything all housed in a box that's in better shape than this poor thing is. Yeah, it's just ugly. It's going in the garbage. Alrighty. Now it's time to retire this poor box. So a lot of this is just a mishmash. I'm going to try to figure out how to make these fit. This I think I'm just going to leave just in the case and separate when I get it into the new box. These I'm just going to put in with the other straight needles for the time being. I love this little guy. He is just so cute. I think my sister-in-law gave me this for Christmas one year. This is my little tape measure. He's just a cute little penguin. He's just adorable. That can go in with the straight needle, so that's nah. Let that one go. These little collapsible scissors, love these guys. These are two little hair thingies. Put those in the bathroom with the other hair stuff. Some of this is just stuff that just doesn't even belong here. Thank you cards from things. I'm just gonna get these, put these aside and put them somewhere separate. They don't belong in with my knitting stuff and all my notions and things. To find somewhere to keep that. So I do have a handful of extra tapestry needles. It's handy having extra ones kicking around. I do like these ones the best, with the large eye and the longer one. In all honesty, I don't like the plastic ones. I tend to break them. So I'm going to put this in the donate pile. So these guys are just my extras, so I'm just going to put them aside for now. If I have a few, I'll show you in just a minute. Just have a couple little random pins, and a nice little shawl pin, another shawl pin, and I have no idea what all these little beads are for. I don't know. They were in the package with the shawl pin. I don't know what I don't even think they're proper beads. I think they're just little plastic. I don't know what they are. But I'm just going to keep these in a little side container. I have to find where to properly store my shawl pins. I haven't figured that out quite yet. And I have my little row counter that I honestly never use. Whoops, I went the wrong way. have. Never really remember to use this. I just typically just have a piece of paper and a pen and just make little marks for each one I've done. I have an extra one of these. I have another one somewhere. Don't know where it is, but this hasn't been opened yet, so I'm just going to keep that aside for now. This is going to go in my current little notion pouch, which I will show you in just a minute. Put these aside because I don't know where I want to keep them. Just an extra tape measure. I have umpteen tape measures, but I'll just keep this one in here where it's safe. Some little needle stoppers, and they're for larger size needles. So I'm gonna keep these, but I'm not sure when I'll use them, but I will keep them for the time being. More little packet of stitch markers, which I will show you with the rest of the stitch markers where they'll live in just a bit. My little finger gauge or the yarn feeder for doing color work. I don't use this often, but it is handy to have in case I do want to use it. I don't know. Handy to keep in there in case I have a snag nail. Put that in with my regular one. This is one I'm just going to keep aside for now. I tend to use the metal one more often than this one, but I'm just going to keep that. And here I have, my mom gave me these. I don't know where on earth she found them. But just a bunch of stitch holders, which are handy to have. I have used them a few times, especially the larger ones if I'm putting a sleeve on. And I think that might be a cable needle. I do most of my cable knitting without a cable needle at all. So it's something I don't use, but it's kind of neat to have. So these will go into, all back into this nice little handy pouch. And I will keep them for future projects and future uses. Keep those with my stitch markers. You'll see where those go in just a bit. I'll keep that in here. I'll keep that in here for now. So I've got most of all of this tucked in here. And again, these I'm going to put into a larger box that I'm going to keep everything in a bit. So now a couple other things I wanted to show you. First is I have this box that it's an old cigar box. And all I did was get some contact paper from, I think, the Dollar Tree, and I just covered it. And in here I keep most of all of my stitch markers. I have a few that I keep in my current notions pouch that I carry with me, but everything else I just store in here. So some of them are too large to use on some of the smaller size knitting needles I use. So these are two. I like this style the best. So I have this one for larger knitting needles. This is just something I picked up. It was $4 for $1 at Martin's, again, which is a surplus store in Maine. And I had thought of keeping these to use as stitch markers. I haven't used them yet, as you can clearly tell. I haven't lived in Maine since 2012. So I might use them one of these days. I have little lobster claw hooks that I can attach to that, so I can use them for just the ones that I can just use for not stitch markers. What do you call the ones that progress keepers? That's the word I'm looking for. These were the same type of thing as these guys. They're just smaller ones. So same thing, I can add little lobster claws onto those in the future. Oh, here's more tapestry needles. I'll put these with the rest of the tapestry needles. That's just a little thing I got from a skein. It was on a skein of yarn from Buffalo Wool Company. This one is just a little mint container from a wedding we went to, and this has all of my little light bulb stitch markers are kept in here. This one houses a bunch of these, just these little plain plastic ones, and a handful of other ones that ride along on the needle. Really like that one. It's really pretty. So those are housed in there. That's another one with the little the ones that slide along on the needles. I think that one was in here, yeah. More of these, just these regular plastic ones. I have several of those. Another one with some needle stoppers and some larger stitch markers. This is a fun set I got somewhere along the line. A lot of these I don't remember where on earth I got them. This poor guy's tangled up. There we go. There's that one. There's a set of these ones that are just on a little piece of plastic type of stuff. And pretty beads. These are really nice. A lot of these have to be used on larger projects. Again, more of the plastic ones. I have a lot of those. A couple that I picked up somewhere. These ones. This was a set I bought from Nordic Stitches. Just a set of stitch markers, little sheep. This one is so adorable. And then Christmas greeting in, I believe, Norwegian. Yeah. And then there's a set of these in more in just a medicine container. And again, they're just ones that are on like a lobster claw type of hook and pretty beads. And then some of these ones again that I had in one of those little mint containers. So I have a lot of fun stitch markers. I don't use as many as I probably could or should. I'm going to let him live in here. So I was going to keep all of these guys in here so I know where they all are. So that's that bunch. And one other final thing I have for my notions pouch that I carry on a regular basis, and this was like a cosmetic bag or pencil case or whatever. I bought it at a little shop right here in town, and this is the one I carry with me and I keep handy with me. This houses all of my most used stuff. So let's just pull, this is who it was by, Primitives by Kathy. She's from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And a zipper pouch. So again, here's all the things that I use most often and I like to have close and handy and with me. So, a pair of just cheap dollar store glasses if I need to read something up close. A pair of old bandage scissors. These I've had since probably the mid-80s, late 1980s. They're a pair of scissors for taking bandages off. And I like them for using my yarn. They're not, there's no sharp edges on it. And I like them for working with my yarn. Put that back in here. I'm also going to add these in here. I'm going to put my needle gauge and my gauge check here. And I'm going to put this little nail file. That's a good place for those to live. I usually have some kind of paper. In this case, I just have a little pack of Post-it notes. If I need to jot down something quick, I just have a quick retractable tape measure, my needle nest. I love this thing. I need to get a new one because it's broken, it's cracked. I have a few extra needles that I don't use for anything. These, you can tell how much I use them. So you can see where on both of them, you can see how they're worn. But these are the ones I use most often right now. And they're nice in this little metallic container. I have spares if I ever lose these. I have a bunch of spares in the black pencil case that we saw. But for now, that stays with me all the time. And then I have another one of these little mint containers. And I just have a bunch of different stitch markers. Some of the little bit bigger ones. Some I have no rhyme or reason why they're in here. These ones are probably my absolute favorite. I have a set, I don't know why I love them so much. I think I have a set of 4 of them. Yeah, I have 4 of them. There's the red, a blue, a yellow, and a greenish blue one. So I have a set of 4 of them. I have no idea where I got them. I've had them for ages. And I love them. They're just a nice size. They're not overly large. I love them. And similarly, if I'm doing things where I have to mark things, I love this set. And I have a set of 4 of those. 2 have the bluish purple beads and 2 have a white bead. So I'm able to distinguish on some of my projects the beginning and end of places and different divisions. But I love these. They fit nicely on sock size needles or needles that are a little bit on the smaller side. So those are ones I use. I use some of the ones in here a lot. And I've got just a few extra little oddball things in here as well, and a whole bunch of these guys. I suspect I'm going to be adding a bunch of these onto my Advent scarf once I get going on that later today. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to be adding a bunch of those to mark the repeats in a pattern. And then in this little mint container, I have all of my plastic removable stitch markers. So I've just got a whole bunch. I've just got them clipped together by color because I'm weird that way. But I just have a whole ton of these guys. And a few strays that are in. Like there's a red one is in here. But those are all my current things that I use all the time. Those stay in here. And it's quick and handy and easily accessible for things that I want to have on hand, quick and easy. So that's a little tour through my notions. I'm willing to put a large wager that I will find all kinds of other things kicking around the apartment and kicking around in my craft room as I'm hoping to get some more tidying and cleaning done in this room over the Christmas break. But I'm willing to bet I'm going to find all kinds of extra goodies here and there. So that's all of that. I'm going to do one more short video probably next week sometime. What I plan on doing is I plan on labeling each of these the pencil cases with what's on them. So here I'll just put notions, the other one crochet hooks, 2.25 millimeter, whatever is in each of the containers. And I'll show you how I did that part up. And then I will show you how I get them all housed into a larger box than that poor box that they've been sitting in for now. Alrighty, so that winds up today's edition of my organization of all of my knitting needles, crochet hooks, and notions. And I'll be back with one more video in about a week with how I put everything all together in a nice box. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching all of these videos. Catch you later.